Rose and I have ever been on together.
I know, or Abby.
I haven't been on with Rose either.
Yeah, this whole group is new together. Yeah, I know. I was very excited about that. Hey, welcome to our bonus episode. This is our unscripted, unfiltered, and sometimes ranty when we, have discussions, but sometimes not. Sometimes we just have chaos on these episodes, and I'm really excited about doing another one. Today we're doing an extra special episode because it's an author interview with the awesome Rose Garcia.
Woo!
Yay, one of our queens. I'm very excited to have the ladies here. I am joined by two other queens, Joanna and Abby.
Hello.
Yeah, we're just really excited to be doing these types of episodes and just to be here and hanging out. And they've been in the works for a while, so yeah.
I am so excited.
This
I
is
am
what
so
it is.
excited, but I just want to warn everyone right now that everything's a little crazy at my house today. So
That's nothing
usual,
new.
we were talking about
it's the usual chaos happening at my house.
Yeah, you listeners don't know this, but I edit a lot of
Yes.
Rose's chaos out. Sometimes I keep some of it in, but mostly I edit it out. And today you get to experience it,
It's
so
always
you're
craziness,
welcome.
always. Oh well,
But
that's
we
my
love
life.
your craziness.
It's just
Yeah,
my life.
exactly. So let's just dive right in because this is all about you episodes. So let's talk about your life. I'm just kidding. No. Introduce yourself. Tell people, what you write, how long you've been writing, and just name your books. I guess we'll start there.
I'm so excited to be here, and I'm from Houston. I write young adult, sci-fi, fantasy, contemporary romance, portal fantasy, stuff like that. I have two main series. How do I do that? Series? Yeah.
Series.
What's the plural?
No, I
What
think
is
it's
the
just
plural?
series,
Your eye.
What?
Just kidding.
Okay, so I have two main series. Okay.
I think it's just series. No. Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
Continue. We're good.
So,
We
I
understand.
have the Final Life series, and that is my first series. It's about a girl who's had multiple past lives. She is tracked down and hunted in each one by a supernatural villain, and the series is the story of her final life. So that's the Final Life series. And my most recent series is the Fae Bloodline series, and I am so excited about that because it's new and fresh, and I'm so in love with it. So it's about a Fae princess who becomes involved with a seemingly ordinary human, and they find themselves, of course, enamored with each other, and then there's all this stuff happening that all of a sudden their lives are at risk. So that's my Fae Bloodlines series. Yeah.
I love how we describe our books and like there's a girl and there's
stuff
a boy,
happens.
most of the times, and then stuff happens
there's
and
love.
life and death.
And there's love and
And they love each other,
Yeah.
but they're also like gonna die.
Yeah, there you go.
Conflict.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah, it always makes me laugh when I ask like people to authors to describe their books and they're just like brain freeze completely. Like what do
Yes.
you say? We're so bad at it. But yeah, it's we're excited about that series because if you guys know, we love Fae around here. We basically all write Fae. Well, Abby has.
I'm the weird one out. It's okay.
You're so easy.
I know, but you have your whole
Yes.
sci-fi thing. It's really cool, okay? But yeah, so the rest of us, Joanna and I have written
Yeah.
Fae. So this was really fun for, just to have another queen writing Fae. But book 2 just came
Yes.
out, right? July
Yes.
29th.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so
I have got to tell y'all what I did because it's the craziest thing ever. So I don't do a whole lot of plotting when I write. I kind of have
Okay.
ideas, like some major ideas of what I want to do, but I don't go hardcore into outlining anything. And I never have. And I've tried, and it just doesn't work for me. So for the second book, okay, the first book is Fae Away. The second book is Fae Fractured. For the second book, y'all, oh my God, I literally wrote one chapter And then I had to think, all right, what's going to happen next? And then I wrote another chapter. And then I was like, okay, now what? And then I wrote another chapter. So I literally did a pantsing from chapter to chapter.
Wow.
And
That's impressive.
no,
that would cause me anxiety.
it was the craziest thing ever because it was very stressful. But I also found that I was discovering the story along with my characters at the same time. So it was kind of cool. I just can't do it in such a short time frame. You know what I mean? Because I really had a small time frame for this book, and it's my own fault because I had so much stuff going on in my life. So when I really sat down for the nitty gritty, I had like 2 months. And I was like, okay, is this going to happen? And then I just was like, yeah, it's going to happen. Of course, I'm like trying to convince myself. So I'm just writing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm going to keep writing. And then it did. It happened.
It happened.
It was so crazy. It was the
Yeah.
craziest thing ever.
Yeah. That's basically how I write. So that's hilarious to me. Like every single book is
Really?
like that for me. Like I have like not three, like five maybe major points throughout the story. I was like, okay, like this needs to happen and this needs to happen and this needs to happen. And then like I know where it's gonna end because I know how to set up either a next book or if it's a standalone, like I know where I need to end it. But other than that, I'm like chapter to
Wow.
chapter. And if I try to plan like I can't write if I plan it out because my brain is like, well, you already told yourself the story. This is boring. Like, move on to a chapter you don't know what's happening
Wow.
in.
I'm so
So,
excited to hear
yeah,
that.
it's just
That is
really-
insane. But I'm insane. We're insane together.
Aw, that
Yay!
means me and Joanna are the rational ones.
Yep.
Yes. Joanna's like, give me an outline,
Wow.
please.
But I have to say, with writing Vela, this is
Oh, that's
kind of how I'm
right.
doing it.
yeah.
But I'm not doing it from episode to episode. I have like a chunk that I know that it's
Mhm.
like sort of like pretty well outlined. But as far as what's happening much later, so
I love that.
I might have to come to both of you when I'm like,
Yes.
what am I doing?
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But
yeah.
my novels are very
Yeah.
outlined.
I tried pantsing once and it ended up being a dystopian novel, and my main character, instead of out like taking down the government, was in the kitchen baking chocolate chip cookies, which was super like adventurous because chocolate was rare in this dystopian world. And then she sat by the river and like watched the sunset.
I love that.
No, it was terrible.
I'm on
That was
board.
the
Where's
book.
Hannah? Hannah would love
Yeah.
that dystopian shit that you read that one.
You have to have like a meal break somewhere in the story.
Or
Oh
a
my gosh,
bathroom
I love
break. No character goes to the bathroom. And I'm like,
Mine
did they just
do.
hold it
Oh,
for the
yeah.
entire time?
Y'all,
Like,
mine
that's
do.
insane.
Yeah, the whole book.
Yeah.
Mine go to the bathroom, and also mine have meals.
That's good. That's,
That's
you know,
good.
that's normal. It's funny because we talked about this. Wait, did we talk about who did I talk to? I don't know. Whatever. I had a conversation with somebody, but one of the things that readers really love is like that mundane, like somebody getting ready, right? So like
Yes.
describe somebody dressing and doing their hair and makeup, and somebody like cooking. Like those things are like really mundane, but like readers love seeing that. And especially if you're writing like fantasy, you get to see this like fantastical world, but somebody's doing something normal, and so it's like relatable to them.
Yes.
But I'm really bad about that. I am like I skip over all of that because I don't write very descriptive, especially my first draft. It's really, really fast paced. And so I have to be like, oh man, hold on. She has to put on clothes. Let me go back and like
Yeah.
dress her because I didn't even think about that.
They're just
I'm like,
naked
oh
the
my-
whole time.
Yeah,
saving the
they
world.
are.
That is
like-
so funny.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's interesting to hear too, because in like all my writing classes and like while I was studying writing and honing my craft, that was always something they told us to leave out. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to have like step by step, especially like the cliche of having the book start with them waking up.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yeah.
right away.
Hmm There are definitely certain things of that, but it's that the Jennifer Lynn Barnes did that whole talk about writing for your id, and she
I
talks
need to listen
about
to that.
those things. Yes, you do. But she talks about those things that like are so like ingrained to us that we love. And I was like, every single thing we watch, like with my parents, I will sometimes be like, my mom loves Cinderella, right? So I keep trying to find like Cinderella retellings for her to watch. And last night we watched Ella Enchanted, and she's never
Oh,
seen
I
it.
really?
love that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she had like a whole experience. She loved it. But there was this part, okay? So Prince Char has this thing that he does where he hugs Ella. He always like starts out regular hug, but then he buries his head in her, like that spot between her,
Yes.
like in her neck. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's one of my it things. Like, I love that. I want to see that in like every book, every movie,
Oh, I love
everything.
that too.
Yeah, I just think it's like the most romantic thing ever. But that's like one of those things, like some people, their id, like one of their biggest things that they love is like having somebody do makeup or having somebody pick out an outfit.
Yep.
And so like adding those things into your
Interesting.
writing, yeah, I just like find this fascinating.
Maybe it's one of those rules that you just got to break it the right way.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
And I
think
think it
so.
also depends on the story, you know? It has to fit the story.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think so too. And I think it's like it's those things that if you want to spend two paragraphs describing a dress and the way it feels against her skin and the way it looks with her hair and all that stuff, and it's just something that you want to do, then it's perfect. But if you're just spending two paragraphs doing that just to add that in for people to like, I think that's the difference. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be cautious or conscious about writing close and normal things, but I also like don't go over the top with it because that's not true to
Right.
me. So I think it's just finding that balance and like thinking of things that are weird or like mundane for you, you can add it in and make it like great because it's something that you love.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Okay, we just like diverted.
No, that's important because like in Fae Bloodlines, in Fae Away, there's this big scene where she is putting on her dresses because it's a big deal for a Fae princess what they're going to wear. And so I took some time
Okay.
with that scene where they're trying on dresses and the dresses are so beautiful and I describe them in great detail. And then I have that again in Fae Fractured because it was just a big part of the life of a princess. And it was fun
Yeah.
to write. I had so much fun writing those scenes of them getting dressed and they had this luxurious bath with all of these like flowers
Oh,
and
that
oils.
sounds so good.
Yes. And then they got their gowns on and then they had their makeup done. And so it was a cool part of both of the books. And I really, really liked writing it.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let's talk about your Face series. What inspired you to write it? Like, did you have like a one moment of inspiration, or was it just, I don't know, just tell us about
You
it.
know what's so weird is that, and maybe that's why I had to pants it the whole entire way because I feel like I had to pull out the inspiration. I didn't really have any.
Okay.
So I, I literally decided to write Fae because I was inspired by the fellow queens and everyone that was writing their Fae books and then doing the anthology. And I had it in the back of my mind, okay, I'm going to do that. But I first had to finish my Havenwood Falls books because I have a couple of novellas in the Havenwood Falls universe. So I needed to finish those. And then when I finished, I was like, okay, I'm going to jump on the Fae bandwagon because everyone's doing it. And so I'm going to do it. And then I was excited. And then I didn't know what I was doing. And so I literally just had to figure it out. I mean, is that crazy? I didn't know what I was doing.
I don't know. Sometimes those books are like the best too. I just love that we keep pushing people to like read the books we want with this podcast, but also the queens just keep pushing each other into writing
Yes,
things.
I was just inspired by all of
Peer
y'all.
pressure.
Peer
Peer
pressure.
pressure is the best.
It works, man.
I know, I love it. That's really cool though. I think that a lot of times readers just expect writers to be like, I had this moment of inspiration and it
Which
was
sometimes
like,
Yeah.
happens,
which
but
sometimes does,
Very
yeah.
rarely, though. Like, the angels just don't come down on your desk and like sing heavenly songs with rays of light, and your fingers are flying over the keyboard.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like an idea or a desire to write something, and then it comes from that. And I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
I
know.
think that kind of like angelic inspiration is pretty common with your first book or your first series. But then as you, start writing more books, I think you kind of have to look for the inspiration, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, well, I can't really say that right now because, well, I'm currently writing my Russian inspired Beauty and the Beast
Oh,
retelling,
so
right?
yeah.
excited for
Yeah, it's
that.
gonna be
I
so
know. I'm like,
good.
Yes.
I'm so obsessed with that. But that was kind of a thing that was inspired before it even became an inspiration. I don't know if that makes sense, but like when I was writing the first Skaska trilogy and I was like using all these like less known folk tales to add to my
Yes.
book, I was like, oh, I want to do like the big fairy tales. Like, I think it would be so fun to like rediscover whatever. And then fellow queens were like, well, you should.
Yep.
And
Do
then like
it.
take that.
Do
Yeah,
it, do it, do
exactly.
it, do it.
So then I was like, oh, okay, I guess. And then when I sat down to like really think about what fairy tales I wanted to tell, they're like, do Beauty and the Beast. That's a good one. And I'm like, perfect, because I have ideas for Beauty and the Beast. And then like literally trying to find names for my characters. As I'm finding names, I'm like, oh, this girl, she's gonna be a mafia princess. That's what it is. We're going there. Like, it was really funny how like the inspiration came while I was like looking for names
Yes.
for my
I love
characters.
that. Spontaneous.
Yeah, but I have to add that even though a lot of us are writing fae,
Mhm.
and a lot of you are writing these fairy tale retellings, they're also different. Like,
Mhm.
I obviously haven't read yours yet because it's not out yet. But
Yeah.
like Tessa's is so different from Hannah's, is
Yes.
so different from and same with the
Do you y'all hear my dogs?
Yeah.
It sounds like a zombie dog.
They're fighting. Well, play fighting. Oh my God, y'all.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So, sorry.
Oh, but like all of our face stories are so different that even though
Mhm.
we all like peer pressure jumped on the bandwagon to write it, they're just such different stories, such different tones,
Right. Yeah, which I actually kind of want to ask Rose about. So, I mean, obviously you are Hispanic,
Yes.
right? So like your characters typically have like just different,
Yes.
I don't know, would you say different heritage? Would that be a say? Or just like,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
So okay. So when my Fae princess discovers this lost portal, and she looks through and she sees the human, she sees Julio Avila, and he is Hispanic, and he lives with his mom. His dad is gone. His dad left them when he was little, and they are of very modest means. They're actually like really mirror me and my upbringing, because had very modest means, and we actually had a really big family, but we were just poor. I don't even know how to say it. We just didn't have a whole lot. And so Julio is like that. He doesn't have a whole lot, but he is always like this really positive kid that's doing what he needs to do. And the big way for him to move on is to, set his sights on college. So he's got his sights set on college. And I was like that. I was like, okay, I have got to go to college. I am the first female in my family to go to college. So,
wow.
yes.
That's
so
cool.
That's awesome.
Going to college was like freaking going to the moon in my family. So that was like the big thing. So that's kind of like his big thing. But his mom is a curandera, which is like a Mexican healer, and someone who can communicate with spirits and stuff like that. And so he doesn't want to fall into the family business because he can
Okay.
do a lot of what his mom does. He wants to go to college, but yet he's got this thing that happens to him, you know, this fey princess that ends up connecting with him, and they have this relationship, and it's all through the portal. But then one day when she stops visiting him, he's like, what the heck happened? But she has decided she's got to move on. She's got to be a princess. She's got to like her duties, and she has to do what her mom and dad want her to do, right? I'm way digressing. What was the question? So anyway, he is Hispanic, and so he brings the Hispanic culture into the books. So I talk
Yeah.
a lot about the importance of prayer for him because he's Catholic. I'm Catholic. He wears a cross, and he kind of touches it a lot. And one thing that I also love is I describe their kitchens because the kitchen is the heart of the home for most people, right? But in the Hispanic culture, when you go into the kitchen, you usually will see like a big picture of the Last Supper. So I think every single family member of mine has a picture of the Last Supper in their kitchen. And so he's got that in his kitchen, and it's also in his aunt's kitchen, his tia. And it's just kind of like you see and experience this culture through him, which is me, which is my culture.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that you
Yes.
can write that into a magical world. Like,
Yes.
it's not, I mean, obviously, we're not discovering fate portals. I mean, maybe you guys are, but I haven't found one yet. But to bring those parts of yourself into a story, I just think is just so cool and just makes it so much more, I don't know, just awesome. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
it's
like it.
exciting. It's different, and my readers really like it because, you know, if you're new to my books, you will go, "Wow, this is so new and interesting." But it's in all of my books.
Mhm.
I have in the Final Life series, it's Trent Avila, and he is actually Julio's cousin.
I
Oh
love that.
my.
Yes, so I have a lot of cross characters, and the Avila family is the family that's the common thread through the Final Life series and through Fae Bloodlines.
I didn't know that. That's
I didn't know that
awesome.
either.
Yes.
I love
So
that.
yeah, so he's the cousin, and Trent is in the Final Life series, and he does make an appearance in Fae Bloodlines. So I have him with Julio in Fae Fractured, and they are actually together looking for a portal because I don't want to give anything away, but they have to find one, and they're on this search for a portal. So you get to see Trent. If you love Trent from the Final Life series, you get to see him in Fae Fractured.
Yeah, I love that. That's so fun as a writer to just like connect your books. Like
Yes.
that's really cool. And having that one family, I think is really awesome.
Yes.
Um yeah, so we also have that's like those are the questions I was going to ask. But Joanna and Abby have some questions they have for you. They're going to
Oh,
just
do we?
Oh my
spring on you.
gosh. Okay.
No preparation here. They're just going to ask.
I'm so scared.
I'm just gonna go on what we were kind of already talking about. Something that you said about like the spark of inspiration, the angels coming down to your desk, like Abby said. What was your inspiration for your Final Life series? That was
Oh,
your first,
yes.
correct? Yeah.
Okay, so that's an easy one. So, y'all, this is crazy. When I was in college, I had a series of dreams about the devil chasing me. And
Okay.
Scary.
That's terrifying.
it was terrifying. So, you know, as a Catholic, we have a very healthy fear of the devil. And
That's appropriate.
yes. So I don't even know why this happened to me, but I had these series of dreams. And in one dream in particular, I was standing in this red desert, and I have this knife at my throat, and the devil is behind me. and he's going to kill me. So I literally,
Okay.
yeah, so
That's
it
terrifying.
was. I literally woke up from that dream, y'all, and my throat was killing me. Like
Oh.
I felt like there was really something pressed against my skin.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a very powerful dream. Anyway, so the dreams went on for a while, but then they finally stopped. And then years go by, and I decide to write. And at first, I wanted to write about my family, like kind of an autobiography type situation,
Mm-hmm.
like inspiration. But when I sat down to write, this dream popped into my mind. So I started thinking, okay, if I'm to write about something that's more young adult and something that's more has a supernatural vibe to it, let's take this dream. So who is the girl? Who is after her? Why is she in the red desert? And so I started thinking about all these things, and that is how I came up with the idea for the Final Life series.
Wow.
That's amazing that you could take something so terrifying
It was horrible.
and write about it years later.
Yes. It was
And turn it into something that's not so scary.
Exactly. Exactly. I've got my wheels
Yeah.
turning.
Joanna's like,
It was weird and scary, but yeah. And there's a lot of scary elements to the Final Life series. There's a lot of parts that are scary. So I feel like scary stuff is just kind of part of my life a little bit.
You and me both.
Yes. So yeah. So that's that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've got a question for
Oh
you.
gosh.
So no,
Okay.
okay. So something you and I have in common is our love of Disney stuff.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So I know you could spend a whole episode just talking about your love for Disney. So, due to your love of Disney, how does that affect your writing?
Oh, wow. Well, okay. So the thing about my books is that I always have this huge element of good, right? I mean, I think we all do. And Disney to me is just a whole lot of good. So at the end of the day, through all of the horrible things that might happen to my characters, there's always going to be the good that happens. Does that make sense?
I love that.
I don't know if
It's
that
like a
makes
happily
sense.
ever after.
Yes, but it takes a long time to get there. But they get there. The good versus
Yeah.
evil. I mean, evil is never going to win at the end, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's your
Right.
dream. I'm not so sure about that.
I don't know. I feel like her dream is still the good one because she used it to write this amazing series.
Oh, that's true.
So,
Exactly.
Yes.
The good still won.
yeah.
Yes, but also just to expand on Disney, I just saw the Jungle Cruise movie last night.
Oh.
I've been wanting to see
It
that.
was so
Me too.
Disney. It was so good. So if you love the Jungle Cruise, who here has been on the Jungle Cruise?
Me.
Me.
Everybody.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you know how when you get on and the guide, the person that's leading the boat, they always say like the corniest jokes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how it starts. And it's just like so nostalgic and it gives you all the warm fuzzies because it's so cute and it's Disney and it was so good. I mean, it's definitely a family friendly movie. It's not something that's going to be like keep you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
But it was just lovely. It was lovely and sweet and I loved it.
So on Disney Plus, they have this series called Behind the Attractions. Have you watched that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And the first one is for the Jungle Cruise. It's really kind of cool. I watched that yesterday.
Oh, no way.
And it was kind of because they talk about like carving this jungle out of California desert and like how they did it and how they got all of the plants there.
Wow.
And
love
and they went
this.
like all the way to how they came up with all the corny jokes and why they did that.
Yes.
Like it's very cool. Very
That's
cool.
cool.
And
Aw.
it talks about the Jungle Cruise movie a little bit too, about how they had to add a couple of those corny jokes into the movie
Yes.
for fans of the ride.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fan movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine being a corny joke writer? Like that was your job to like come up with the jokes for the amusement rides.
You know who would be great at that?
Puns.
My husband would be great at that.
I don't know. Are
It's a
dads
male thing.
usually
It's like-
good at
it's
that?
like a dad jokes.
Oh my God, he would be so
Well, that's what
good.
they are. They're all dad jokes.
Yeah.
They're all dad
Yes.
jokes. They're those funny puns.
Yeah.
He's a
My dad
natural.
would be good at that. I'd be like,
So Rose,
Yes.
what's your favorite Disney park food? What do you always have to get when you go to a Disney park?
Well, I don't know if it's the food, but whenever we go to the Disney parks, we always have to go to the Beast Castle. That is my favorite place to eat in the Disney parks because it is amazing. The Be Our Guest. Have y'all done the Be Our Guest dinner?
nope.
I've never had. I wanted to though.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's really hard to get in because they book way out in advance, but of course I think it's closed right now. But you have to do it, and you have to do it at night because it is so beautiful in there. So there's different things that we have to do every time we go. We have to go to Be Our Guest, the Beast Castle, for dinner. We have to go to Via Napoli to eat.
Ooh, what's that?
So it's just the best pizza you've ever had in your life. It is
No biggie.
That's it.
Just
No biggie.
It is so good. So we always have to do that, and then that's in Epcot, and then we also have to do Germany. Eat at the German beer garden because we just love it there. It's so fun and festive. So yeah.
I
Love it.
just want to go
Love
to
it.
Disney so bad now.
I know, so do I.
Yes, we're going. We have it booked already, and we're going for New Year's.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Yes.
Oh, fun.
I know.
I'm so
Jealous.
jealous.
I can't wait.
That's
We
fun.
we were supposed to go last year,
Us too.
last
I
November,
remember.
but yeah, obviously,
Yes.
well, Disneyland was
Yeah.
closed, and
Well, go for New Year's, and then
Yeah,
I
there
can
you
see,
go.
and then
That's
I
really
can see you.
tempting. That's really tempting.
mean,
Maybe
wouldn't
we
that
should
be
make
fun?
a trip and go at New Year's.
Oh.
Okay, I'm talking to the husband after
Yeah,
this.
make it happen.
Oh my gosh, that's fun.
Yes.
All right, jumping on the Disney train again. What Disney character do you most relate to?
Oh, Cinderella.
Ooh, why?
Ooh, that was
I know she didn't even have
Yeah.
to think about that.
So, okay, when I was growing up, this is such a sad story.
Oh,
Okay, so
That's like a way to intro it.
you don't have to share if you don't want.
well, so when I was growing up, and my parents were divorced, and so I have a big family. There's 5 of us.
Oh, me too.
Yes, but there's a big gap. So I have my 3 brothers. There's a big gap, and then there's my sister and myself. And so when my brothers left, and it was my mom and me and my sister, it was just hard because, you know, we were just. I felt like I was Cinderella. I felt like I was doing, I felt like I had to do everything. Anyway, I was like. You know, the cleaning and the yard work and just
Yeah.
like all the stuff. And so I was always like, okay, I'm going to have my happily ever after. And of course I have it. But it was like a situation where I was just Cinderella. I was Cinderella.
Did you have a fairy godmother moment?
I feel like I had a Prince Charming moment.
Oh,
Yes.
That's so sweet.
Which is Wade. I mean, he's like my prince. And so, yeah. So, I don't know. I think my moment was just going to college. Going to college was just my moment of like going to the castle and her new life. For me, that was going to college. Going to college was my castle.
I kind of love that though.
Yeah.
I think you need to write a Cinderella retelling based off of you.
Oh yeah.
I would read that.
Well, it's something that I have always wanted to do. I just don't know how to fit it in or where.
Okay,
to-
jump on the retelling.
I know, right?
Just do it.
peer pressure, peer pressure.
So, yeah. So Cinderella, she's special. I love how she was always so positive when things were terrible.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have always been positive when things have been terrible. So,
There you
y'all.
go. No, I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing, honestly. You've come so far and you've done so much, and it's just, I don't know, that's really cool. Knowing about your life and then knowing where you are now, it's like really amazing.
Maybe
So,
that's why Abby likes the chaos in your house, because you're always so upbeat
yeah.
about
Maybe
it.
that's why.
That you're
Yeah.
always so positive, even if things are
I
crazy.
definitely have a positive nature, but I have also been through a lot of stuff in my life that I feel like everything is just kind of fine. Everything's going to work out fine. Everybody's going to be okay. So, yeah, I have been through a lot, y'all. One of these
Yes.
days, I will write an entire story about it, and it's going to be like, what in the heck? But,
Yeah.
yeah. One day. One day.
One day.
Okay, tell us about Penny.
Penny. Oh, gosh. Okay, right now, she's asleep. And I don't even know how that happened because she was going crazy a minute ago. So, okay, dogs are huge in my life and my husband's. So, when we got married, of course, one of the first things that we wanted to do was get a dog. So we've always had dogs in our lives, always, always, always. And if you look at my social media, you will see a lot of pictures of my dogs. And you will see a lot of pictures of Spotty Dottie, and that's my Dalmatian. So my precious Spotty, like the last couple of years of her life were really hard because she had really bad arthritis and she had dementia and she went blind. So it was just a really tough life for her and for all of us because we were, having to help her and try to give her the best life possible. So as she was...
Well, she's a family member.
Yes. So, I was at the vet, like, I swear to you, like, every other week. It's like, I need help, my baby, So at the time, I was wondering if I should get a puppy because I knew that losing Spotty would be hard on me and hard on Daisy. And so I kept thinking, should we get a puppy? Should we get a puppy? And my husband's like, no, it's too hard because already it's so hard. I'm like, yeah, it's too hard. So about a month before my precious Spotty crossed the Rainbow Bridge, this little cute black puppy came to my door in the middle of a thunderstorm, in the middle of the night, scratching and whining. And at first I was like, oh my God, what's that sound? Because I didn't know what it was. I was like, are there like rats in my walls? You know that sound when there's like a rat in your wall?
Oh,
Yes, we've had bunnies
That's
in
the
our wall.
worst.
Yes, it's
Bunnies.
Yeah, no, they dug underneath our front porch and found our basement. And so I was watching a movie and I had my big two dogs next to me. And all of a sudden I look and there's a baby bunny hopping out of our storage room. And I grab the dogs. Like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, we had bunnies in our walls.
Yes,
So
animals.
yeah, I hear you.
Animals can get in the walls. And so I heard the scratching. And it was so crazy because at first I thought it was Daisy scratching on a door in the house because, she goes crazy in a storm. But it wasn't Daisy. And then I'm like, what is that noise? And then I figured out it was the front door. And then we figured out it was a puppy. And we brought her in and she was just teeny tiny little ragamuffin. And her hair was all matted. She was just skin and bones, and she was just this tiny little thing. So of course we brought her in. I gave her a bath, and then we gave her some food. She was so hungry. Gave her some water, and we were looking for a family that was looking for a puppy. We're like, okay, this puppy had to have come from somewhere. So we posted on every single social media that we could find in the area, like Nextdoor and Facebook. I called all the local vets. Nobody was looking for a puppy. So she became our puppy. It's like,
Do you know how old she was when she showed up? Like, were they able to estimate?
so the vet said that she was 4 months and
Wow.
7 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
Just a
That's
tiny,
like half
tiny.
of my cat.
yeah, just tiny. Just
Wow.
so tiny.
You are a Disney princess. You have animals coming to your front door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Cinderella with all the mice and the birds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, we always find our dogs. We never really go out looking for dogs. They always find us. And it's always at the time where we kind of need a dog. It's so weird. So I posted about it. I don't know if you read that long post about
Yeah.
the story
Yeah.
of our pets and how they find us. But they find us. And it's always like a God thing, you know?
Yeah, I love that so much. Especially
Yes.
since my kitty found us too. Not like really, but she picked us. But still,
Aww,
I just love
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Pets are a big deal for us.
Yeah, because like Joanna said, they are part of your family. Like
Oh, yes.
they are. So
Yes.
precious.
Yes. Penny Frisket. Because we always give our dogs a first name and a middle name. So her full name is Penny Frisket.
What does the frisket come from?
My
'Cause
husband.
doesn't that mean like?
My husband made it up.
Oh.
Oh, I was like, is that frisky? Like, is the dog frisky? I
She
don't
is
know.
she is super frisky. So he started calling her Frisket. So I was like, okay, Penny Frisket. So that was that.
That's cute.
Yes.
I love that. Anybody else have any pressing questions for Rose?
I've got one more for you, Rose.
gosh.
Perfect.
So, okay. Since you like to write portal fantasy, if you could have a portal to anywhere in the world, where would it lead to?
Oh gosh.
In Disneyland.
Yeah. And Disney doesn't count.
It doesn't
Yeah.
count because I already go there. Like for a one-time visit, or can I just have it and go all the time?
You can go all the time. It's your portal. So
I
you
know,
can do what you
right?
want.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that I would have it go to my family in Michigan.
Aw.
So I know that's so.
That's
so
sweet. I would have been like, forget my family. I'm
I'm
going
like,
across the world.
Germany,
I would
Scotland.
Yeah. So, I'm so sentimental and I'm super emotional and family is super important to me. So I would have a portal so that I could go to Traverse City, Michigan. And
Wait,
Wow.
that's hilarious to me. That's where my family used to live. Continue.
what? What?
Yeah, my mom's sister, one of her sisters, moved to America a while back now, but they lived
What?
in Traverse City for like I'm gonna say 8 years or something.
Wow.
So I remember us visiting them there. They live in Indiana now, but yeah.
Wow.
I like never know of anybody who even knows where Traverse City is. So that
Traverse
was like, what?
City. Yes.
Anyway,
That is
sorry.
so crazy. Traverse
Yeah.
City is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
It is so, so beautiful. And, my family, my Garcia family, they're all close to me. So this portal actually goes to my husband's family. And they're as close to me as my own family is. So I would go there. And I would go like,
Love
Love
that.
yes, I would go
It's
there.
such a wholesome
Love
answer.
I know.
I'm so sappy. I'm so sappy.
I love it.
That's
I love
okay.
it.
I love
That's
it.
where I
Yeah.
would go. And I would go right now. So,
Well, yeah. I don't know. That's awesome. I'm so glad that we could do this and just hang out and do an interview. Get to know you a little bit better. We'll definitely be doing more of these as well. So, you guys get to hear all about all the queens. So,
'cause we're
all our
fun.
sappiness, we are.
we're fun and exciting.
We're a blast.
And slightly chaotic, which is my favorite.
Yes.
But it is what it is. Yeah, so you guys definitely check out Rose's books. I will have links to her website and to the Amazon page and Instagram and yeah, everything and
Yes.
everywhere.
Look for me. Everyone look for me.
Everyone at the same time.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. But thank you so much for your questions, ladies. First of
Yeah.
all, good job.
That's
So
fun.
welcome. Thanks for letting us interview you, Rose.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It was fun.
I love this. I'm so excited to do more of these.
Yes.
Now.
Well, and I have another question for Rose, but I'm going to save it because I'm going to pitch this idea to Valia. So.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
That's
okay.
mysterious.
I know.
What?
I'm like-
I want to know.
Okay, well, hold on. Let us stop recording and
Oh.
then we'll know. But yeah, don't forget we have our regular episode coming this Wednesday, so check that out. And then give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss out on an episode. And also follow us on Reading Queens Pod Instagram. And yeah, that's it. That's all we've got. But this was a blast. And thank you, Rose, for being here and being part of the Queens.
Yeah.
I love it. And yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.